Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial that we are going to see control structures used in Python. We have three different type of control structures in Python. They are sequential structure, conditional structure, repetition structure. The conditional structure is also known as selection structure. The repetition structure is also known as iteration structure or looping structure. The conditional structure, we have three different type of conditional structure: conditional if, alternative if else, chain conditional if elif else. In the repetition control structure, we have five different types: while, for, break, continue, and pass. What is the use of this control structure? Control structure in Python is used to write a block of code. Also used for making decision. The control structure only defines the flow of execution of a program. These three control structures are pictorially represented like this. This is sequential control structure. This is iteration or repetition control structure. And this is selection control structure. Let's see each one in detail. The first one is sequential control structure. In this slide that we are going to see why this structure is called a sequential control structure and how do we represent this sequential control structure pictorially, and one example. Why it is called sequential control structure? The reason is, in Python, if statements are executed one after another in order, in sequential manner, then they are called as sequential control structure. And pictorially we represent this concept like this. For example, here we have 4 lines of statement. In the first line, we initialize the value 10 to variable a. The second line, value 20 is initialized to b. In the third line, we calculated the value of variable c. C is equal to a plus b. The fourth line, we print the value of c. These statements are executed from top to bottom, one after another, so that this set of lines will be example for sequential control structure. In this slide that we are going to see what is conditional control structure. Why this control structure is called as conditional or selection control structure? How to represent this conditional or selection control structure in pictorially, and what are the different types of conditional or selection control structure we have in Python. Why this control structure is called a conditional or a selection control structure? The reason is, in Python, a set of statements are technically known as a block of code. The block of code will be selected for execution based on some condition. Since they are selected for the execution based on some conditions, it is known as conditional or selection control structure. In general, at least there will be 2 blocks. The block of codes will be selected based on the condition. The condition is created using an expression. We write the expression in this flowchart symbol, a diagonal flowchart symbol. This expression will return Boolean values, either true or false. If it is true, a true block will be executed. If it is false, a false block will be executed. So a block of statements are selected for the execution based on the output of condition. You have three different types of conditional statements. One is conditional if, second one is alternative if else, third one is chain conditional if, elif, else. In this slide that we are going to see conditional if. What is the syntax for conditional if? How to represent conditional if pictorially, and example for conditional if. The syntax is, first we write if keyword, then we write condition. The condition we write within the open and close parentheses. Using this open and close parentheses is optional. We create this condition using logical operators. It is an expression. We'll return Boolean values. The Boolean values are true and false. After the condition we write colon operator. This indicates the beginning of the block. Then we write a block of code. In a conditional if, there will be only one block. It is called if block, and there will be one condition. It can be called as if condition. If the result of if condition is true, then if block will be selected. If it is false, then the program will terminate. For example, so here we have three lines of code. In the first line, value 5 is assigned to A. In the second line, we check the value of A is less than to 10 or not. If it is less than, we have a if block. In the if block, the statement is printing the message A is less than 10. So first, this condition will be evaluated. According to this program, A is less than 10. So if block is selected for the execution. So the output is A is less than 10. Suppose if it is not 5, if it is more than 10, the value of A is more than 10, the if block will not be called, and the program without printing this message will terminate. This is conditional if. In this slide that we are going to see alternative if else. The syntax for using alternative if else, how to represent alternative if else pictorially, and one example for it. The syntax is, first we write if keyword, then we write condition within the open and close parentheses, then we write colon operator, then if block statements. After the if, we write else, the keyword else, then we write colon operator, then we have else statements. Pictorially we represent like this. So here we have one condition, it can be called as if condition, and we have two blocks. One can be called as if block, another one is else block. If the condition is true, if block will be selected. If the condition is false, else block will be selected. So how to demonstrate this? See that example. So here we have 5 lines of code. The first line, value 15 is assigned to A. Then we have a if condition. Here I am checking the value of variable A is less than 10 or not. If it is less than, I want to print a message A is less than 10. Else, I want to print a message A is greater than 10. According to this program, here A is 15. Since A is 15, the if block condition is false. So the if block will not be selected for the execution. Rather, the else block is selected and we get the output a is greater than 10. This is alternative if else. This is chain conditional if, elif, else. So in this slide that we are going to see what is the syntax for chain conditional if, elif, else, and how do we represent this in pictorially, and one simple example for it. The syntax is, first we write if statement, the condition for if we are writing, then elif condition, then we have else block. Here we have two conditions. The first condition can be called as if condition. The second one can be called as elif condition. We have three different blocks. If the if condition is true, if block will be selected. If the if condition false, then elif condition will be evaluated. If the elif condition is true, elif block will be selected. If the elif condition is false, else block will be selected. For example, in this program, we have 7 lines of code. In the first line, variable mark is initialized with value 55. Then in the second line, we have if condition. The third line, we have if block. Fourth line, we have elif condition. The fifth line, we have elif block. Sixth line, we have else keyword. The seventh line, we have else block. Since the mark is initialized with value 55, first we evaluate the mark if condition. Since mark is 55, so here the else condition is false. So else block will not be selected. Then we check elif condition. Since mark is 55, the elif condition is also false. So we don't select elif block. Rather we select else block. So we get output as pass. This is chain conditional if, elif, else. Next we will see the repetition control structure. The repetition control structure is also called as iteration or looping control structure. We have 5 different type of repetition control structure. The first one is while. In this slide that we are going to see what is the syntax for using while, how to represent while in pictorial, and one example for it. The syntax is, first we need to write initialization of counter variable statement. After that we write keyword while, then we write while condition within the open and close parentheses, and this open and close parenthesis is optional. Condition is created using a logical operators. Then we have a colon operator. This colon operator indicates the beginning of the while loop. Inside the while loop, we can have n number of statements. Among the statements, at least we must have one as increment or decrement of counter variable. The counter variable either has to be incremented or decremented according to our requirement inside the loop. If the counter variable, this increment or decrement of counter variable is not inside the loop, then the loop will continuously execute without termination. So that we use counter variable for incrementing or decrementing the counter variable. By doing so, the condition can be converted into false at one point of time. If the condition is false, the execution of loop will get termination and we come out of the while loop. So this is pictorially represented like this. Here, initialization of counter variable, then we write the condition inside the diagonal flow chart symbol. The condition is true, then we enter into the while loop. Inside the while loop, we have an increment or decrement counter variable for making condition as false at one point of time. When the condition becomes false, we come out of the loop. For example, in this line program, we have 4 lines of code. The first line is counter variable initialization. Value 1 is initialized to the counter variable x. Then we have a while condition in the second line. The condition is x is less than or equal to 5. If it is true, then we call the loop. Inside the loop, we have 2 statements. The first statement is for printing the value of x. Second statement is incrementing the counter variable by 1 at a time. And this is the output of the while loop. So since counter variable is initialized as 1, the condition is true. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, true. Since it is true, we are entering into the loop and I am printing the value of x. Then I am incrementing the value of x by 1. Now it is true. Then again I am checking the while loop condition. Now 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, true. So I am printing the value of x now. Again I am incrementing the value of x. Likewise, the loop will continually execute until the condition is satisfied. Once it becomes false, and we come out of the while loop. This is while loop. Now let's see how to use for loop. In this slide, the syntax for using for loop and how to pictorially represent the for loop, and one example for loop that we are going to see here. The syntax is for item in sequence colon operator then statements. So here for and in are keywords in Python, and we have a sequence. Sequence is nothing but a series of elements. We need a series of elements to use for loop. Series of elements can be created using a range function also or a list also. So once a sequence of element is created, for each element in the sequence we need to enter into the loop. Once we reach last element in the sequence, we come out of the loop. For example, so here we have a variable elements, and the elements are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have a list of elements. The element is a kind of list which has 5 elements. Now these elements is substituted in for loop. Inside the for loop, the first element in the elements is assigned to the variable element. So in the elements, the first element is 1. It is assigned to element, and that we enter into the loop. As per the syntax of for loop, for each element we enter into the loop. Once we reach the last element, we come out of the loop. So here the last element is 5. Once we reached, we come out of, there is no element in the list, so we come out of the for loop, and this is the output of the for loop. We have one variation of for loop. It is for else, and else block can be added at the end of the for loop like this. Once there is no element in the sequence for processing inside the for loop, we come out of the for loop and we go for else block in for else statements. This is about for looping structure. Next, we'll see break repetition structure. So in this slide that we are going to see the syntax for using break statement and how do we represent break statement pictorially, and one example for it. The syntax is simply write the keyword break where it is located. So pictorially we represent like this. So here we have two conditions. One is to enter into the loop. Another condition is to enter into the break statement. First we write the condition for entering into the loop. Once we enter into the loop, we can have n number of statements. At the same time, we should have a condition to enter into the break. Once the break condition is true, the break statement will be called. Once it is evaluated, we terminate the execution of entire loop. The further iteration will not be called. We come out of the loop immediately. For example, so here I have a sequence of elements starting from 1 to 5. And here we have a for loop. First, 1 is assigned to this variable number. Then we enter into the for loop. Inside the for loop, we have a if statement, then a print statement. The if statement has a condition. Number is equal to 3 or not. So initially now the number is 1. So we are checking 1 is equal to 3 or not. It is false. So we don't call this break statement. But we print the value of number. Then the next element in the list is 2. It is assigned to variable number. Now then again we enter into the loop. Now we check 2 is equal to 3 or not. It is false. So we don't call break statement and we print the number. 2 is printed here. Then the third element is 3 in the sequence, and which is assigned to number variable. Now again we enter into the loop. Now we check 3 is equal to 3 or not. The condition is true. So we call break statement. Once the break statement is called, we terminate the execution of the loop immediately and we come out of the loop. The further iteration 4 and 5 will not be evaluated. Immediately we come out of the loop once we encounter break statement. So the output here it is 1, 2. This is about break repetition control structure. The next control structure is continue repetition control structure. So in this slide that we are going to see the syntax for using continue and how do we represent this statement pictorially and one example for it. The syntax for using continue statement is simply we write the keyword continue wherever it is required. Similar to break, the continue repetition control structure, we have two kind of conditional statements. One is for entering into the loop, another one is for entering into the continue statement. Once we enter into the loop, we have condition for checking continue. If the condition is true, then we call continue statement. Once the continue statement is called, then we terminate the execution of that current iteration, then we call the next iteration. Once the condition of this outer condition is false, we come out of the loop. So in continue, only the current execution of iteration will be terminated and the remaining iteration will be called further execution. For example, so here I have a sequence of elements starting from 1 to 5. First 1 is assigned to variable number, then we enter into the for loop. 1 is equal to 3, no, so the condition is false. We don't call continue statement, just we are printing it. The next statement in the sequence is 2, which is assigned to number. Again we enter into the loop. Now we check 2 is equal to 3 or not. It is false, so we don't call the continue, then we print it to number. Then the third element in the sequence is 3, which is assigned to number. Now we check number is equal to 3 or not. 3 is equal to 3, so it is true. Now we enter into the if block where we have continue statement. Once this continue statement is called, the further the execution of the current iteration will be terminated. So the print of number will not get print at this point. Then we call the next number. The next number is 4, which is assigned to number. Now we enter into the loop. 4 is equal to 3 or not? No, the condition is false. So we never enter into the continue if block where we have condition statement. Rather we are printing the number 4. The next number in the sequence is 5, which will be assigned to number 5. Again we are entering into the for loop. Now we check 5 is equal to 3 or not? No. So we don't call continue statement. Rather we are printing that number 5. So that the output is 1, 2, 4, 5. This is illustration of continue repetition control structure. Next we will see the pause repetition control structure. The pause repetition control structure is used for nothing to happen. When it is encountered, nothing will happen. How to use this pause control structure is, the syntax for using pause control structure is simply we use the keyword pause wherever it is required. So what is the use of this pause is, it is used as a placeholder. That means we want to have a loop, but we don't want to implement the loop at present, and we are going to implement the loop in future, but we wanted to have it now. So what to do? In Python, having empty loop is not allowed, but we need to have it. So how to do? How to implement? Using pause, it can be implemented. So inside the loop, if you have pause statement, when that pause statement is encountered, nothing will happen. Either the loop will not be terminated, it will be continued. So this is pause statement. For example, say here I have a sequence of elements, right, starting from 1 to 5. The first element 1 is assigned to variable number. Now I am checking number is equal to 3 or not. Here it is 1, so 1 is equal to 3 or not. I am checking, it is false. So even though it is, so we are printing the value number. The next element in the sequence is 2. It is assigned to this variable number. We are entering into the for loop. 2 is equal to 3 or not. It is false. So we are calling this print statement. I am printing the number 2. Third element in the sequence is 3. It is assigned to number. Now we enter into the loop. Inside the loop we check 3 is equal to 3 or not. It is true. So we call pause. So even though it is false, again we print the same number. So the pause either it is called or not. That is not a matter. The loop will continually execute. This is the use of pause. Simply is used as a placeholder in Python program. That's all about Python control structures. Thanks for listening. Thank you.